But yeah, it's up to you what we want to talk about today. Like, is there like a specific topic like last week that just like came up to your eye and you think like we need to talk about today, or
Well, yeah. So I want to just do a split and then just get started.
you just get started, man?
Okay.
Don't
All
think too
right.
much.
Let's
Just
get
do
started.
it. Just do it.
Let's get into it today. So, me personally, of course, we also listen to a couple of things, audiobooks, we read books. I listen to a lot of podcasts. One of my favorite podcasts there currently is the Yes Theory podcast. I think a lot of people are familiar with the Yes Theory. YouTubers, three really inspiring guys that started that. That basically their deal is they make videos about seeking discomfort, craziest things like jumping out of a helicopter over the Grand Canyon with Will Smith, or going to Bangkok and just starting parties with strangers,
Yeah,
just all those things like leaving your comfort zone.
yeah, yeah.
We will make another episode about leaving your comfort zone, but today I want to talk about kindness because that was actually a topic they talked about in their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for myself, that's why it's personally so important to me. During this pandemic, I think the time kind of divides in between two sorts of people that just don't do shit and people that do or that get overwhelmed with their shit. There's not really anything in the middle, I feel like, right?
Maybe, yeah, could be.
Yeah. It's probably like a slight, middle thing in between.
Yeah,
But what I've realized for myself is that while self-reflecting, while like trying to make the best of that whole lot of time we have now,
mm-hmm.
you kind of start to get like into it a little too much sometimes, because like when you work with yourself, right? You don't really have to be kind to yourself. You just go with the flow and you do whatever you can with the time you have.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment it comes to working with other people, you sometimes start losing that patience. You get impatient really fast because people might, work or do things in a different speed than you are, in a different way.
So first of all, you think like people they like do things differently, and because of that, it's hard to connect to them. And I think it's also hard to connect to them because you show you like a little bit more distance to everyone during this pandemic. And so like I don't get it like totally yet. Like what is like what do you mean with kindness, or what's like the
And what I was trying to lead into was basically part of what you just said. First of all, that you kind of like you don't lose your social skills, but it's sure a little harder to interact with
yeah,
people as if you do that constantly. And what I've realized for myself is that if you approach people with kindness, like just also being randomly kind, like
yeah,
that's also what they talked in the podcast, just like even in that moment that you don't feel like it, to be kind to that person, and not so that you will get it back at some point, but just to be kind
yeah.
in order to feel good and get that back with the law of attraction that we already talked about once.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something really important there. It's about being kind without expecting anything.
Yeah,
And I think if you master that, and if you really are willing to give that, because it's you give a lot without ever knowing if you receive anything.
yeah,
But I think you definitely have to do that one.
yeah.
I
And
think
I think that
he's also talking a lot about it and how kindness really
who
makes
does
you
it?
reach Gary V.
Yeah.
Gary
Mhm.
Vaynerchuk. Sure, you know him. But like with kindness, like people, if you approach people with kindness, it's so hard for them to say no. And it's like
Yeah,
so much easier to build up like a proper connection, to really like have a discussion with them, and to connect on a like really deeper level, if
yeah.
it's like employees, friends, or whatever. So, and yeah, that's really interesting point for sure.
Yeah, and I think that often in times people often also in the job world, I find that a lot of people are like this fake nice just to like connect to that person to then use them for their advantage at some
But
point.
then it's not authentic, and at some point, like
No,
you,
but that's what I mean. And that's where I think we need to be really careful, and that's where I think we can make a difference. And that really caught me when they said that, and that I was trying to like, even if it's just a smile, like often in times like people that know me from college will laugh now,
Mhm.
because a lot of times when they see me in the online classes or also in class itself, I look so mad.
Yeah,
Just like in the podcast with Rolf, but I'm just focused, But then I like, or like I run through the house and then my mom's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "You look like you're gonna kill someone." I'm like, "No, I'm just, in the zone."
yeah, yeah. I
But
see, I see.
to like kind of like step out of that your own situation and looking at yourself, being like, yeah, you could maybe smile a little bit, open
Definitely.
that door for that person, do something like that, just to spread that, you know?
Sure. Totally get you there. But I think just coming back to the point from before a little bit, like how to get like real authentic kindness. Because the problem is like if you push it too much, it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, how I can do it like most authentically is like I think if I would be the other person, how do I want to be treated?
Yeah.
And then you go real because like you think, oh, how would I, but if you're just like, oh, maybe I smile a little bit and just to get to my goal, I think that's the wrong approach, totally, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And
Yeah.
really to get this like authentic way of doing it, you have to be like properly into the subject or into the topic, and it has to be like kind of like how you also would be how you also want someone else treating you, something like that, maybe. Or do you have something to add there? Because I think that's the most important point.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like I don't want to, walk around like a clown and like give everyone that fake smile. But the thing is that also like your own like memes and gestures are
Yeah,
connected to your feelings in your brain.
yeah,
So I read that just in the book yesterday, where it's like about the words we actually use. Not languages, but the actual words. And then if you test yourself, everyone that listens can try it out. Like do like this for like a minute and then like smile like that for a minute, and it will change the way you feel. It sounds weird, but
not really.
it's just
Like
like that.
if you really let yourself go into that, because I think like sometimes it's like you hear some really crazy approach, like, oh, you have to do this and this and that, but you really have to let yourself like get into that, like open yourself for this experience. And if you're really like, you will get like if you really like smiling then for a minute, like you will get all this energy flow, and you really have to focus on that and feel more into that.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to experience something like that, because if there's
Yeah.
something in your body which says, oh, maybe that's not working at all way I'm doing that, sure, then it's never working.
But I think the most important thing, what you just mentioned, another word for is it to have that intention,
Yeah,
because if you do it for yourself, that's one thing, but also it's like this with a friend of mine. I always talk about that. She always says like those mirror neurons, the neurons in your head, that if you see something, it's like if you have a good relationship to a person and that person yawns, was tired,
yeah,
then you will yawn too. If a person smiles that you like or that you have a good relationship with, you will also smile, just because it's like that. And if you approach a person, even though it's a stranger, and it kind of just like, hey, how you doing? How's your day? But truly, like you said, with an intention, asking, hey, how is your day going? And like if they tell you, fuck, it's shit, and it's not like, oh man, yeah, I feel bad, have a good day, but actually like taking the time, maybe
but
having a
just
coffee or whatever.
adding there, if you someone tells you, oh, he has a good day, and you're like the person who likes to talk about if yourself you're feeling bad and you like to talk with other people about it, and then you feel
Yeah.
better, then you're really good at it, and the other guy will feel it and he will be open to talk to you. But
Yeah.
if you're personally not really good at talking about stuff like that, then you should really take your approach, how you would deal with this person, and then maybe your approach would be telling him something else and try to get him away from these thoughts. But that's what you do authentic then, you know what I mean? Don't try
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fake anything.
Yeah.
It will get back to you, and the people, they will realize. I mean, if you would say something fake to me, I would realize. If I would say something fake to you, we would realize, and then we couldn't build up a proper connection. And then
Yeah.
yeah, also like my emotions are fake and everything, like it's not really authentic then, definitely.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that really got to me, because I think like especially nowadays in a time where especially like us millennials, that we always kind of want to do something. We always want to be in our thing and just like work and do things and,
Yeah,
be traveling and stuff like that. And I think just like with this isolation, like a lot of people, and I include myself personally, that's why it's so important to me to talk about that today. We just get caught in our shit, and then we don't really pay attention to the basics anymore.
exactly.
Like
And also
being
just
kind.
a second, I don't want to interrupt you too much, but like with all this stuff, we want to go travel, we want to do this, we want to do that, and we want to do that. But we really have to ask ourselves if we ourselves really want to do that, or we just see other people doing that, and that's why we want to do it. And I think that's a really important point. Like we really have to realize if our actions, if our intentions, if they are real or if they are fake. And don't
Yeah.
try, sure, like on the short term, if I'm nice to you and if I'm say, oh, I like this, I like that, I like that what you do, oh, you're so cool, sure, we will get best friends in the short term. But like in the long term, we are not honest to each other. We don't really, we just always like, if you come to me, then you also put your face mask, like your fake mask on, and I also have my fake mask on, and
Mhm.
there's no proper connection. There's no room for like
Yep.
growth or whatever. But if you're honest, sure, maybe at some point, maybe you will find out that you're not made to be friends or whatever. But at least you really find out how it is, and you're not living like a fake entire life thingy.
Yeah.
And it's not just for friends, it's for relationships, it's literally for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
sometimes
and I think
it
I
hurts.
think it comes.
It hurts, but sometimes it need to hurt. Sorry.
No, no, don't worry. You're saying the right thing, and I think it always comes back, as a lot of time with different topics that we had before. It comes back to honesty,
Exactly.
right? Like being honest with yourself, like like you just said, like honestly, like, okay, am I doing this right now because I enjoy it, or because the other person enjoys it, or maybe we record what we're doing right now, maybe only the other people enjoy it. Like, we love talking to each other,
Yeah.
and we have had good conversations, so that's why we decided to put it on a bigger platform, or to maybe other people could benefit from it. We're not doing this just because being like, hey, what's going on in TV. But that's the problem sometimes with social media. People get caught up in that fake life, and it's not really most of the time what they actually want to do.
Yeah.
And then I think it's also really hard at some point actually for them to see the difference between what they want to do and what other people want them to do.
So
You
true.
know?
And also, like with today's world, there's so much more possibilities and so much more things you can do and so much more ways to show others what you do and everything. And I think that makes it just more complicated because we literally we get like overwhelmed. We actually we humans, we don't need that much, but we
Yeah.
kind of think and feel like that we need it. And
Yeah.
literally the worst thing is then like, if we like continue and continue, the worst thing would be if you work your entire life to pay for that fucking shit you don't even want, just like shit that you think other people will think something cool of you, and you just
Yeah.
spend more time because you need more things, and then you're
Whoa.
like, that's like the worst case scenario. And like I think like why we do this here and why we talk is because like we really like to exchange on topics like that, and we just thought like why we don't have to why we don't let other people take part of it and like make the discussion bigger and get like new inputs and new thoughts into the whole process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think to sum it up at that point, first of all, I think it's important to, of course, have your goals. You want to get at a certain point. We talked about that plenty of times. You can only find out those true goals and things you want to do in your life if you take time. Don't listen to anyone else but
Take the risk.
yourself.
Take the risk.
Take the risk, and then just like, you know, spend some time with yourself and ask yourself truly what it is you want to do. And don't put pressure on yourself to find that out within a day. It's not going to happen.
Definitely not gonna happen.
Second thing I think from today, sorry, go ahead.
And even if you're already like far, like really really deep in one way, like in one direction or one hobby or one job or whatever, and you realize,
Yep.
oh, it's not that really that what I want to do, try to get out again before it's too late.
Yep.
Sorry, you
Yep.
can continue.
No, don't worry. Don't apologize. I think the second thing today is true kindness and honesty with yourself and also with other people.
and also like the connection between true kindness and honesty, because you cannot be truly kind if you're not honest. Honestly, honesty. It will come up over time and over time, again and again. We will probably, like, literally every episode we will talk a little bit about it, and it just shows how important that is. Like, guys, really have this honest discussion with yourself. You will see it will change a lot. Definitely.
Yeah. And then I think um, we can use that honesty and kindness to kind of balance out all the stress and all this, like, elbow fighting in jobs and relationships and friendships and family, with money, like a couple of topics we talked about the last couple of weeks, and kind of try to go the other way and balance it out in order to still enjoy life,
and really
like
use kindness as like a tool, or like a mindset, or whatever.
exactly.
And with that, using this tool, you will get way quicker to your goals.
Yeah.
Way more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why I think too. And also, what just came to my mind, it's now a whole other thing. We talked about that social media, and like thinking about if it's actually that what you want to do, or if it's just that what other people want to do.
Yeah.
I randomly stumbled over a movie last month on Netflix. It's called Nerve. Have you seen it, Dami?
No, actually, I've.
Okay. And it's a little cruel, to be honest, but thinking about the message of social media and what it can do to people's minds, exactly with that topic, not knowing the difference anymore between if it is what you want to do or if it is what other people want you to do, I can highly recommend everyone watching that movie, because it's truly got a strong message. Awesome. I think that's the end for today.
Yeah, a little homework for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Just watching a movie, that's good homework. All right, guys.
Yeah, awesome having this talk again. And maybe, like, guys, if you have like topics, anything like that's on your heart that you really like want us to talk about, or maybe like dive in deeper or whatever, just feel free to comment here on YouTube, or if you listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever, or maybe even on Instagram. Just feel free to contact us, give us like topics, things you want to talk about. And yeah, besides that, now I can just say happy Saturday, enjoy the weather if you have good weather, and yeah, do something crazy, be honest to yourself, and be kind.
Yeah,
it's
cool. And also because of the
find out. Sorry.
What's that?
You will find out that like kindness is the master key if you really use it consciously. So sorry.
And also with the IG with the answers and comments and everywhere, like I think a lot of people listen to the podcast and then they tell us personally, like on WhatsApp, man, I watched your last episode, I listened to it, it's so cool. We would love for you guys to like text us on Instagram, or if you text us on WhatsApp because you know us, like let us know what we can improve, or if there are actually, like Domi said, topics that you would really love to someone to talk about, or even if you feel like it, let us know, and then we can record a podcast together with you.
Yeah, even
we can go live on Instagram.
Definitely, that would be awesome as well. So
just to increase that interaction with you guys.
Yep, just feel free to share all your thoughts. We are looking forward for it. We read everything. We will make something nice out of it.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Peace out.
Peace. Bye.